Breakfast is almost ready and I've just completed the final chapter of an autobiography by a psychopath called Carl Panzram, a self-confessed serial killer who was executed in 1918 in America after confessing to multiple murders and felonies against humanity. An interesting read if you're psychologically minded, and a true depiction of how a type of psychopath thinks and behaves as he reveals his confession. As you can see, it's a beautiful morning, but the weather changes later on in the day. And we've got a pretty busy schedule planned. We're going to head over to the Isle of Skye. We're going to visit Armidale Museum and Castle. And we're also going to make our way over to the fairy pools. That's me, the kids, and our little bargee.
Just easing out now of the harbour.
Don't push me around.
I mean, fancy doing a 3-point turn there. He's reversing round, straightening the stern up. Caledonian McBrain. Off to Skye we go.
She's gone fast.
Armidale Castle, Gardens Museum of the Isles, the spiritual home of Clan Donald. Castle Ruins Museum of the Isles and Library. Size of that baby. Boy. She's a monster.
Right then, we have here Native to the mountains of Central and Southern Europe, the silver fir does well in the Armidale climate. The two specimens you see lying here were blown down in the Great Storm of 2005. The larger of the two, affectionately called Big Bertha, was planted in the 1800s, and the sister tree between 1850 and 1875. Silver firs are quite common in the gardens, and you can see hundreds of seedlings and young trees growing around the bases of the adults. Our original silver firs were grown for ornamental purposes, but also, ironically, to act as a shelter belt in stormy weather. The essential oils that can be obtained from the sap have medicinal properties. People use them as an antiseptic, for pain relief, and in cough medicines. It can also be used as a joint sealer. When you mix the ash from a fire with this type of pitch, it can be used as a glue. And as you can see, it's perfect when you're trying to start a fire and you use a ferrocerium rod.
Amazing. No matter where I go. That's some tinder that. Lovely, lovely stuff. Striking gold. Right there. Striking gold.
Another useful tinder is growing on this Himalayan white beam. It's called Usnea, or old man's beard. It takes a spark best in dry conditions. If it's slightly damp, you'll struggle, but it's not impossible.
Not sure what this tree is. Bearing the fruits. It's not quite coming to flower yet. This is a totara tree. Not very big at the moment, but I'm sure it will be eventually. Given by the members of Clan Donald societies in New Zealand to commemorate the life and service to Clan Donald of the Donald MacDonald CBDFC, 22nd Chief of Glengarry, 1913 to 1999. Patron of the Clan Donald Society of New Zealand, Otago. Well, it's got some growing to do yet, but it's looking healthy enough. But yeah, huge burrs all around. Can you guess where we are? Me and the Bambinos. That's my leg over the way.
Armidale Castle. It's a ruin now, but it was the home of the MacDonald family. This is a view of the front door from the rear, and inside we have the remains of the well that would quench the thirst of the MacDonalds. It's a Scottish baronial style mock castle, intended for show rather than for defence. In 1855, part of the house was destroyed by fire, and in 1925 the castle was abandoned. This pair of 18th century hunting rifles carry some weight. The barrel length is 134 centimetres and the bore 2 centimetres across. Prior to taking the shot, the cast iron spike would be placed into a bipod, the hammer released and the bearing discharged.
There you go. You've got a magic touch, darling. Use 2 hands. Oh, use that, yeah.
We're heading towards the fairy pools. There's midges everywhere. It's wet, dank and busy, and we've got a quick march it because basically we've got to get back for the ferry. We've got round about an hour. Woo, baby. So that's us heading back to Mallaig after visiting Armidale Castle and also the Midgie pools, formerly known as the fairy pools, but nah, Midgie pools, not good at all. And see for yourself if you ever go up there.
Two munchkins there, practicing filmmakers. How brave, going over towards the fairy pools, because I'm telling you, it was bad. Full of midges, big time. Almost devoured her. But she was brave. She put up with it, tolerated it. Amazing. Amazing!